This is a periastron, and it is one of the rarest gears to have in Roblox. What's cool about a periastron is that it has a collection of 8 different variants, with these being Azure, Gold, Chartreuse, Amethyst, Crimson, Ivory, Noir, and Rainbow. Each of these periastrons act just like a linked sword, with special powers as an addition. You can kind of compare periastrons to lightsabers like in Star Wars. But what's cool about these periastrons is that they have a whole lore behind them in which is explained what the swords were used for, and how they were made. The swords can actually still be obtained. You can get them by trading for them or by buying them from the marketplace with prices ranging from 80,000 Robux all the way to 500,000 Robux. You used to be able to buy these swords for only 2,000 Robux when they were first released in somewhere around 2012. But I guess you now know. This is the Azure Periastron Alpha. And it was the first ever periastron to be made in Roblox. The item is part of the periastron series, which consists of 8 different periastrons that each have different powers. The powers for the Azure periastron are pretty unique. There are a total of 3 of them, with the first power being the lunge attack, which most of the periastrons have and allows for the user to strike forward. You can perform this lunge by double-clicking. The second power it has is the sword twirl. It can be activated upon pressing Q, and will cause the periastron to rapidly spin around while giving the user a speed boost. The power will last for 5 seconds and will then have a cooldown of 10 seconds. For the final power it has is the sword stance. You can use it by pressing E and will make you place the periastron on your back. It will then allow you to parry any incoming attacks, which is pretty overpowered if you ask me. But wait, because this is the Gold periastron beta. And it is the second and probably the weakest periastron to be created in Roblox. The Gold periastron is part of the periastron series, which consists of 8 different swords that each have different powers. However, this sword only has 2 abilities if we include its lunge attack. For the people that don't know yet, the lunge attack could be performed by double-clicking and would basically make the user dash forward. This power is pretty strong and is owned by almost all of the other periastrons. Its other ability is the sonar pulse, which upon pressing Q, will make a duplicate version of the sword that sends out pulses revealing any player's location that are within its range. It will also set their walk speed back to normal and deal a slightly bit of damage. The ability can only really be useful against invisible people or some that are extremely fast. But yeah, I guess you now know that. This is the Chartreuse periastron Gamma. And it was the 3rd ever periastron to be created in Roblox. It is part of the periastron series, and what's unique about this periastron is that it has a different lunge attack compared to all of the other periastrons. Instead of dashing its user forward, the lunge attack will make a green laser shoot out of the sword which deals a lot of damage. This attack can be really useful when there's a gap between you and your enemies or whenever you want to shoot someone from really far away. The periastron also has another special ability, which is the deflect barrier power. Upon pressing Q it will activate a big green force field that deflects any incoming projectiles or players. The power is extremely useful against people as you can just fling them away by running into them. The Chartreuse periastron also has a removed copy which was created a day before the real periastron released. This periastron was known as the fake Chartreuse and got removed because Roblox made a mistake with the release of the item. But yeah, I guess you now know that. This is the Amethyst periastron Kappa. And it was the 4th periastron to be created in Roblox. The sword is part of the periastron series, and has 3 unique abilities if we include its lunge attack. The lunge attack is a special power that you can use by double-clicking and will make the user dash forward. It can be really useful to have this power while traveling around. The periastron also has 2 other powers which are mostly based around meteors and comets. Its first power is meteors. You can use it by pressing E and will make meteors drop down from the sky that deal up to a 90 damage when touched. The meteors have a really big hitbox and spawn in a radius of 512 by 512 studs with the player being in middle. Its second power is the comet crash, which upon pressing Q makes an extremely big comet to start flying over the user's position. Using the power will make the sky turn dark and will disable all transport type of gear such as a skateboard or a magic carpet. But yeah, I guess you now know that. This is the Crimson periastron Mew. And it is seen as one of the worst periastrons to have in Roblox. It is part of the periastron series, and costs around 250,000 Robux if you were to buy it from the marketplace. The sword only has 2 powers if we include its lunge attack. For the people that don't know what the lunge attack is, it is basically a move that you can perform by double-clicking and will make the user dash forward. The power can be really useful when you have to get over a river of lava like this one. But now for its second power, which is Crimson, you can use it by pressing Q and will make red lasers appear around the position that you use the power in. They will then start spinning around like crazy. If a player were to touch these lasers, they get killed in an instant. Although this power might sound overpowered, it has a huge downside, being that upon using the power there is a slight delay before the lasers actually appear and deal damage. This gives players enough time to get away from the lasers, so yeah, I guess you now know that. This is the Ivory periastron. And it was the 6th ever periastron to be created in Roblox. The sword is part of the periastron series, and can be bought for around 600,000 Robux. This makes it the most expensive periastron in Roblox. But now for its powers, it has a total of 3 of them, with the first power being the lunge attack. It makes the user dash forward and can be done by double-clicking. Its second power is Light Orb. It can be used by pressing E and will make a ghost of your character spawn on the location that you use the power in. Once you press E for the second time, you'll get teleported to that location. Its third and strongest power is Supernova. It is seen as the strongest power in the whole periastron series. Upon using the power, which is by pressing Q, it will make a giant white sphere launch into the sky that will then start shooting smaller orbs. These projectiles will go after players and deal a lot of damage to the ones that get hit. They will blind players as well. Using the Supernova ability once can already kill a total of 50 players. This is the Noir periastron Sai. And it was the 7th periastron to be created in Roblox. The sword is part of the periastron series, and is the only periastron that you couldn't have bought with Robux. Instead, you could have gotten this periastron by redeeming 2 Walmart gift cards between June 27th and July 31st in the year 2013. As of now, it's the cheapest periastron and can be bought as a limited for around 70,000 Robux. But now for its powers, it has a total of 2 of them if we include its lunge attack. The lunge attack is a power that you can use by double-clicking and will make the user dash forward. It can be useful when you have to jump over a crater. Its second power is Lights Out, and can be used by pressing Q. Upon using this power, it will make the sky turn dark and leave a beam of light on your current position. The player will then get a speed boost and will turn invisible. It is extremely good and lasts for 15 seconds, followed by a 15-second cooldown. But yeah, I guess you now know that. After a whole month of posting periastron videos, over 500,000 likes, and over 30,000 new followers, it is finally time. This is it. This is the Rainbow Periastron, Omega. And it was the last periastron to be created in Roblox. You can buy this periastron for around 400,000 Robux, even though there are only 64 copies of this sword. Just like most of the other periastrons, this sword has the lunge attack, which is a move that you can perform by double-clicking and will make the user dash forward. Upon using the power, it will leave a rainbow-colored trail behind. But besides that, the Rainbow Periastron is extremely unique, as it gets stronger based on what periastrons you have in your inventory. You will also unlock new powers when you get certain periastrons. In my next video, I'll explain every single power that you get from each periastron. So yeah, I guess you now know that. This is the Rainbow Periastron Omega. And it's the last periastron to have been created by Roblox. The sword gets stronger for each periastron that you have in your inventory. The Rainbow Periastron's first power is the Peri Laser, which can be used by pressing Q and will shoot an extremely big laser that kills players in an instant. It has a charge time that can be decreased by owning other periastrons. The sword has 2 other powers which are given when you own a specific periastron. The first power is Pulse. It is given upon owning the Chartreuse periastron and will make a smaller version of the deflect barrier appear around the player when you press E. Its second power is Singularity. You can get it by owning the Amethyst periastron and can be used upon pressing X. When using the power, it will spawn a black hole that pulls in nearby players and objects. The power can be used to keep people in place and kill them afterwards. The Rainbow Periastron has passive abilities as well, but I won't be talking about them because